Okay, so what we're going to go over now is prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is what we're going to send the model as a whole. So eventually, what we'll do is we'll send this big payload into the to get started into the model that will then take it into context. You'll hear the word context a lot, which essentially just means it's memory. And once we paste this in here, it'll help us start building out the dream website that I had shown in my design videos. So I'm going to start with giving it a general summary, just so it understands what I want. I need a website that is built and hosted on Vercel. You can change this out for anything. I can say Azure, GCP, or some other service. Next.js is a coding language or a coding framework. You can change this to Python. You could change this to, and specifically in the case of this is JavaScript, you can change it into a Python specific library. You could change this into, if it's more, it needs to be a performance-based website like Go or Rust. Then we're using a database. The reason a database exists is you need to keep records of things. So when we talk about someone's profile or a company, um, it needs to pull that information from somewhere. It's not a static like page that you build that just stays static forever. Like the database keeps it so it's dynamic. So you're loading information, people are logging in and out, and like that's all handled by the database. In this case, we're going to use Postgres. The database connection there, we're going to get to later, but in reality, like if I were to look at, let me go into my Vercel page and show you guys real quickly. They offer in their storage area a really nice, it's called Neon. It creates a free um, database, which is very small, but enough to accomplish what we want for initial load. And then eventually you can obviously upgrade into much larger databases. But yeah. And let's just talk about the goal of the website is users to be able to make a profile and have them all add their referral codes the companies they are with. For instance, I have 8 Sleep, or is it 8 Sleep, just like that. Referral code for friends to get a discount. We also get a kickback. That's the general gist. So now the model knows like what are we after, what are we programming in, what am I like loading and storing the information at. All right, so now, as we talked about before, the design document. So we need to break this down into logical parts: search, profile, company referral, and display homepage. First thing we're going to talk about is the homepage. So I'll start with the display. You'll want to have any user that created appear on the main homepage and any new referral codes. So that way, the idea there is like you create a new account, like you in your referral codes, you get displayed on the main page. Now that will change later. Like we'll have an algorithm that will basically say like who gets to almost like Reddit type things. But the idea to start is we just need to start somewhere. That's the goal. Is people over engineer their first prompt and they get all screwy because they over engineer the entire system and for the very first run, and things are all over the place, things are breaking, and you can't really figure out why because everything is so complex. So in this case, the goal is just I want to like the people who sign up and their referral codes to appear on the homepage. And I even say I'm not exactly sure how she laid out, but I think person, aka profile, and their codes every time a new referral link is added, then you add it to that person, but we have the idea of a home page. So this is a little bit weird the way I stated it, but think of a person slash profile and their codes. Every time a new referral link is added, then you add it to both the person's profile page and also display it on the home page. Okay. And again, we'll discuss how the home page will work later, but you get an idea. Homepage, which is a Reddit style feed for every new referral code that comes in across. Now as a reference point, it knows all these model knows Reddit. Like there's no question about it. So it knows what we're kind of looking for by just saying that statement alone. But also either include their profile when they click in their profile, be able to see all their company referrals. Just give me more like again reaffirming of like this is what I want. I want a profile page that shows people's companies. On the home page, I want to display those referral codes. Now, a profile. When a user signs up, is asked for basic information, including email, the profile section that is dedicated to all the referral links for the profile, yada, yada, yada. Username, display name, email, password. The profile will show us all the companies that referred and so on. So just giving again context of what a profile means to me. I gave it and said you want a username, a display name, and the display name later on I talk about how the display name is the thing that you show around the website, not necessarily the username. So instead of like Matt C, you have Matthew Carnali, or if I want to call it like, I don't know, special discount man #1. Your email password, the display name is the only one to use around the website. So right there. Okay, so now we have our homepage idea, our profile idea, and now we have company referral. So we'll want to, there's two ways to actually, so I'm thinking about this, company referral or, yeah, company referral. Yeah, right now it's fine the way it is. Okay. We will want to have it so that anyone under the username logged in can add a referral to their catalog of referrals. So basically right now I'm telling the machine that like you're gonna have a catalog of referrals for yourself. The field should be included as a title field, the link to the actual website, and if you could pull the logo from the website, and this is really important right here, if you could pull the logo from the website and also the description from the product for the display. So that way you don't have to manually enter like, oh, like let me put the logo for Sleep 8 or 8 Sleep, and let me put the description of what it does. The referral link associated with the profile and tags, and this is important. Tags are important for search. We really need tags, so that'll come up later. For instance, like tags of being, bedding, sleep, and so on. Then you need an area where your own referral code that you can enter. Then you have an area of a description. There will be a description. There's a set of fields, which is customer benefit and referral benefit. All these fields are required to submit for a company. That's important right there. Required fields. So now I gave it the schema. The title field, a home page, a referral link, tags, description, customer benefit, referral benefit. And let me refix that name. For example, the home page is this. The title is this. Referral link is this. Tags are these. Description, the customer benefit of $300 off and $100 of credit. Later on, we may enhance this to like have maybe a drop down menu that's like, is it credits? Is it dollars? Is it like some special, I don't know, metric? But again, the goal is start super simple, not super complex, because if you start super complex, it's going to be a problem later on as we start to go through the other things. Now, the search should find the username, tags, titles, and also description. If one is added, it should have a filter function. What we will work on next is a better display. So we're going to go over things like design languages, so you can see how that works. Examples like Google, Microsoft, even Salesforce, although I never use Salesforce for that. User metrics. So we may want to catalog like, how many times are people clicking through the referral link, how many people are clicking on my profile, and so on. But no, we're not worrying about user metrics right now. More secure login system. So like maybe you have like email auth, like for a small deployment like this, like our goal is just to get it up and running, nothing more. Social aspect, I have a lot of ideas how to make this more sociable, and I think that's where this will really kick off and really have fun. Advanced configuration security, like there's a lot of things in here that we need to sort of tighten up, and we'll work on those things as we go. Last thing is like group sharing / group work, which is if anyone wants to work on this website / project, we want to go over how you can contribute and start being a part of this whole thing. And even eventually, like, let's just say, like, we want to implement Google Ads to make a little money on the ads. Maybe we have a master referral system. And what I mean by that is like, if no user is there, like if you search, you may find like, hey, like I know of like a Samsung, I don't know, Bose, Apple. I may have master discounts as like the unknown person on the website that just like feeds the referral money back into the website itself. So again, that's just again thinking. But what we're going to paste into the actual model is this prompt. And I'll save this prompt for everyone to have so they can see how to design and understand how to write a prompt. But with the context length of these models, and what context means is memory, or it's like thinking about like if I just gave you a book and said, read this book about, I don't know, let's just say the Bible. Then I asked you like a question about paragraph or whatever section of the Bible that you like. You now have context because you read the Bible. If I didn't give you that Bible beforehand, you would have no context or understanding of what the hell I'm talking about, and you would just be like, what does that mean? Like Matthew parable 20, whatever, whatever. In this case, you actually know like what that is because you read it. The context is what you're putting into memory. So from now on, once we put this into memory, it understands the general premise of what we want to do. And as we get results back from the model, as you'll see later, like we start wanting to say, you know what, the home page actually should change this way. But it does know that like a profile exists, that there's a search and display, so it should also modify them. The other thing is, most common pattern tools these days, they read over your entire GitHub file list and keep that in memory so it knows that you have these files with these information. And so it's the same thing as context, but imagine the file has a search file, profile file, company, referral, and display name. And so even if you erased all of this stuff from it, if you had a GitHub project with these documents in it, it would read over them and understand the general way that they're linked together, the way they work together, what they're trying to accomplish. And so if you add a new document, like you wouldn't have to tell it what these four things are. It already read over them and tried to understand them. And so when you add the fifth, page, that may be like, in this case, the social aspect that I want to design, it would know that you don't have to put a search box in there and what the search would do for it or what a profile is. It would know those things. It also can read the database and understand like what's the schemas of the database. In this case, the schema in this case is this. Like for the profile, it's username, display name, email, password. Eventually it may grow. And the company referral schema is title field, homepage, referral link, tags, so on. And so your model will start to learn all that stuff. But for now, what we want to start with is just this. So thank you.